Welcome everybody. TGIF Cafe today. Welcome. Yes. So if you are watching this live, say hi, say ho on the comments below. And if you're watching this in replay, say hi. Oh, welcome to all of you live and replay people. This is your host, Junaline. And today we are coming to you live from Beirut, Lebanon, or replay from Beirut, Lebanon on TGIF Cafe. And TGIF Cafe is, thank God it's Friday, of course. And what we do in TGIF Cafe is we talk about, chat about anything that could be inspiring, that could be controversial, that could be empowering, could be thought-provoking, and just sometimes just simply sharing. Okay? Yes, so welcome. I have my coffee, which is in my favorite cup. My coffee of the day is Nescafe. If for those of you living in Asia and Middle East, you'll understand what that means. Nescafe, as in Nescafe, instant coffee. Yes. So say hi, say ho if you are here. Yes. Hello, everyone. Yep. All right. So nobody's here yet, but that's okay. So today, we're going to be talking about this topic called, are you addicted to self-judgment? And actually, this was inspired by what I've been feeling lately, So yeah, so lately I was just going into this energy of like judging myself, judging for the things that I should be doing, judging the things that I didn't do, judging myself for the things that I should have said, or judging the things, judging even like, everything's about me. Okay. So everywhere, who's not judging themselves right now? Leave now. Yeah, I mean, isn't it really interesting? Like, no matter what, there's always going to be this kind of imposter syndrome, like you think that you're not good enough. Yes, I think that I'm not good enough. Good enough for what? Good enough for who? That's the question. It's like, who are we? Who are we actually basing this good enoughness for? Like, who are we actually trying to please? When we could be just be pleasing is ourselves. Hi, Mihela. Hi, Mason. Yes. So what, like, what would it take actually, like this topic, this self-judgment. I want to hear from you right now. If you are watching this, just type in anything that might come into your awareness. What is self-judgment? Like when you hear this, what does it mean for you? And are you doing this? Are you doing, are you judging yourself? And what are you judging yourself for? Yes, what are you judging yourself for? So we all like were handed this reality, right? The way that there's a right way to do everything, to do a right way to do something. But what is really that right way, I wonder? Yeah. So I want to just share, like, like I was saying earlier, like I was inspired by this topic because of my own experience of me judging myself. So, and I always actually, and luckily for me, I have the tools to use when I find myself judging myself. Yes. So just an example, like sometimes they will still creep upon you, like all these, gremlins, these, I call them gremlins. Like they are kind of these thoughts, these feelings and emotions that will just sometimes just pop up and say something to you. And you think that that is your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Yeah. Like judging yourself, judging your body. One of the ways that you would be judging yourself is judging your body, judging the way you say something or the way you said something, or actually judging yourself for not doing enough, for not being enough, or not for being good enough. It's almost like we have this measure, a standard of what is good enough should be. And if we don't measure up to that good enough that we are measuring ourselves to, then that's when we judge ourselves a lot, right? Like we judge ourselves not because we are being judged by others. In fact, for me, I judge myself because I judge myself. And sometimes you judge yourself based on what you understand as something else from someone else, right? Like it's a misapplied and misidentified judgment, and then becomes yours. Yeah. Maysan is saying she's judging herself for waiting for the perfect moment. Exactly. So what do you mean by that? What is the perfect moment? Is there a perfect moment? What actually, I want to ask you, Maysan, what makes a perfect moment? What have you decided and defined as perfect moment or perfect? Yeah. And another way that she's judging herself is for not saying anything. Well, I'm not saying it you, but judging for not saying, judging ourselves for not saying anything. Yes, for waiting, for not saying anything. It's funny because, we could always find ways to judge ourselves. What if the opposite is true? Like what if actually, all right, we are not waiting for the right moment, and what if there's no right moment? And also it's like, what if it's okay not to say anything? Do you know what I mean? Like we will judge something without realizing that the opposite of what we're judging ourselves for could be also true, right? And what you only think yourself as judging what that thing is, it's like you're the only one who is seeing that judgment. Yeah. And no matter what, you're always going to believe what you are judging yourself for, which is really interesting. Yeah. So what else? What else do you find? How many other ways do we find ourselves judging ourselves? Okay, this topic is mostly about judging ourselves, not about judging others. Because I believe that all of us don't really judge others. I believe that we judge ourselves more than we judge ourselves than others. Because even if you think you're judging others, it's actually a reflection of what you're judging yourself for. What you're seeing in you is actually what you will be seeing in others, isn't it? You can only see someone else for who you are. Yeah. You can only see something in someone, something that you already know, which is you, which is about you. Yeah. That's right. Judging our appearance, that's a biggie, isn't it? That's a biggie for most people. We judge our appearance. And with the judging comes, it comes with this comparison too, like comparing, like judging ourselves for what? Like if we did not have some kind of standard that we've created or that's been created in this reality, Will we actually judge ourselves or our appearance? It's always just in comparison to. When it comes to judging our appearance or it comes to judging ourselves, it's always like in comparison to. And comparison to what? Because if you did not have any other thing or anyone to measure our judgment, will we really have this thing called judgment? Will we really actually, will it really exist? Will it really exist? Oh my God, we're getting too deep here. I think we need more coffee. Yes. Right. So let's do this. All our projections and expectations, separations and judgments, are like lumped together. Projections, expectations, separations, judgments, okay, that we have about each other. I wonder what about each other, about ourselves, sorry. Okay. Change that. Our projection, expectations, separations, judgments about us of us, about me of me, basically me, you're talking about you. What would it take, I wonder, to change that? To change that into something of like being in total allowance of us. Yeah. Whatever we're judging for, what if we can actually change that into something like, well, what if the opposite is true? What is right about me, actually, that I'm not getting? Instead of saying, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with what I said? With what's wrong with the way I'm creating and I'm not creating? What's wrong with the way I look or I don't look? What if we can ask the question, what is right about me? What is right about all of me? You see, what I discovered is like we've gotten so used to saying what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with this, what's wrong. It's like in like an automatic response system. We go into the wrongness, we go into the judgment right away, like this. It's automatic. So all the programs, we bought programs from the past, from our families, from our culture, from religion, from lifetimes before this. We have bought all kinds of programs. And because we bought these programs, we are still living these programs. Would an infinite being really, have anything wrong with them? What if we are actually perfect in all our imperfections or whatever we are judging as perfect? What if we can be okay the way we are? Yeah. So as I mentioned, lately I've been going through like this, like a lot of things, like I was going through a lot of things, and I have all the tools, and I would still go into this kind of this self-judgment mode of like, oh, I didn't do this, I'm not doing that, why I should have said that, I didn't say that, or my God, I look like this today, oh, all kinds of things going on in my head, So one of the things that one of the many tools that I use to actually conquer that kind of monkey mind, like that self-judgment, it's like an addiction, because like you'll go into it right away, you go it automatically, unless I remind myself, okay, what, who does it belong to? Like one of the questions, like, who does it belong to? And even if those asking who does it belong to, the judgment still sometimes prevails. So it's like, okay, well, I get my access bars run. All right, that's emptying my mind. But when everything else fails, what I do sometimes is like, I'll just go indulge in my own self-judgment. Yeah, I kid you not, like what if you actually, instead of sometimes fighting what you're judging yourself for, yalla, just have a go at it. Have a go at it until you get sick of it. Until it becomes really funny, actually, So what if you could write them down, I would say write them down. Write down all the things that you're judging yourself for. So, yeah, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I woke up with like a litany of judgments, whatever, okay, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And I just, okay, decided on one of my walks, because I like to walk. It's the way I, release and let go. And it's also my meditation, is walking. It's like, okay, what if in these 10 seconds, I'll just judge myself and let it be and be okay with it for 10 seconds or even more, like just just judge myself and not make myself wrong, but just judging it. Okay, enjoy. June, enjoy your judgments of you. I just went and judged myself. Okay, all right. Okay, so, all right, this is what's happening to my body. Okay, I feel pain here. Why? What's wrong? Okay, so I'm feeling lethargic. I couldn't get up today. I didn't do much as I wanted to today. Oh no, I'm not a good, whatever facilitator. I didn't do this. I didn't do, like all these things. I just went on. I think I went for like half a day. All the judgment that I could think of about myself. Yes. Yeah. And then after a while, like after all this, the list, after a while, it became hilarious because I was still looking for ways that was wrong. When in fact, there was nothing wrong anymore, or not anymore. There was actually never nothing wrong. What came to me was like after listing all this and just indulging, it's like, wow, just the energy changed. So what energy, space, and consciousness and choice, magic, miracles, possibilities can I be to me? By the way, that's the question that I would ask myself every time I find myself judging myself. What energy, what space, what consciousness and choice, what magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities can I be to me? And what energy, space, and consciousness and choice, magic, miracles, and possibilities can I be, can I receive from me? Yeah. So a lot of the judgments that we have about ourselves are already concluded, right? We have concluded that. We have decided that. Okay? We don't even ask the questions, are this even true? Are this even real? What if this is a lie? What if the opposite is true? Who does this belong to? What else is possible here that I haven't considered? You know? Like just ask, what if, like just asking a simple question, a true question, by the way, a question out of curiosity, instead of going into the decision and the conclusion of our self-judgment, it was like, okay, what else is possible here that I haven't thought of? Any other questions, any kind of questions would interrupt that pattern of self-judgment. Questions are pattern interrupts, Questions are pattern interrupts. Yeah, exactly. So, how to change this addiction to self-judgment? Well, I just shared with you what I did yesterday, which was to just indulge in it. Sometimes you could just indulge in it until it becomes hilarious, until it loses its meaning. When you start like actually doing more of what you're judging yourself for, it becomes insignificant after a while. It's actually about changing that energy. Sometimes what you're resisting and reacting to, you make it more, you make it bigger. But if you just indulge in it, in that energy of just that, just go on, it loses its meaning and significance. And then it goes. Because, all these things, all this, whatever we're doing anyway, they are just energies. They will just change. They will change and they will transform. Your mood will change. You'll be different. You're like, okay, interesting. That was an interesting choice that I just did that. Now, what can I create? What else can I create now? Exactly, Salwa, stress-free. Yeah. That's right. Judgment actually is a distraction from creation. Yeah. So, what would it take for us, those of us who are judging ourselves on a constant basis, what would it take for us to see and perceive, be, and receive us in totality? What would it take to be you? What would it take? What does it mean being you, right? I wonder what that would be an invitation for us if we are being us, right? What is being us? So being you, being me, being us, it's like having no point of view. Doesn't mean you have no opinion, but doesn't mean it means having no point of view nor judgment of you. What if it's okay? Everything is okay. So I want to share with you these questions that hopefully will change something about this addiction. Okay? So question, ask yourself, what's right about you you're not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? What's right about me instead of what's wrong with me? What's right about me? Okay? What can I be or do different so I can be or do whatever I'm judging myself for, What can I be or do different? Okay? If you find yourself judging, all right, I'm judging this, I'm doing something wrong here. What can I be or what can I do different? What is possible here that I am refusing to be? Yeah, this is a good question. What is possible here that I'm refusing to be? What is possible here that I am refusing to be and receive? Yeah, what am I refusing to be? That's a good one. Because when you're judging yourself, you're something about you that you're refusing to be and receive and accept and be in total allowance of. Yeah. What would it take for me to receive all of me? What would it take to receive me for all of me? What would it take to receive you for all of you? And who cares anyway? Right? It doesn't really matter. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Yes. Yes. Thank you, Salwa. Yes, isn't it? Isn't it like you just indulge sometimes? Yes, the indulgence. I really like this thing actually, indulgence. Yeah. And also what would help is if you get someone, two things are true. If you get someone to like, okay, if you have a friend or someone that you know or very close to you that is actually willing to play that game with you to judge you too. Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's like when you are saying something and that person will, in your judging, for example, you're judging yourself and that someone is saying, yes, you're right. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are that. Yes, you are that. Yeah. Yes. And I have my husband for that. He's my accountability partner. He's my non-judgmental partner. But in a way, like, like I'll indulge in my judgment and it's like, yes, you're right. Yes, that's right. Yes, keep being that. Keep doing that. And after I'm like, no, you resist that to that because that's not true. Actually, that's not true. It's different when somebody says that you are great. That's another energy too that can be available. It's like somebody like a cheerleader. When you are judging yourself a lot, and then you have a cheerleader too, which is a great person or a great team, to have in your life. When you're feeling like shit, you really need people to lift you up too. What would it take to surround yourself with this kind of tribe? Yeah. And actually, I want to say that I have this great tribe. I have these great friends. I have a great team that's like that. And and even if you don't say it, if you don't say it, when you know that you have like people have your back and you have their back, it's like it's the most blessed thing in the world. Isn't that funny, Salwa? I like to challenge in a different way. Yeah, never thought about that. Isn't it funny? Yeah, thank you. How does it get any better than this? So these questions, I want like, just play with questions actually. When we're judging ourselves, what if the opposite is true of what we're judging ourselves for? Yeah, and what would it take to change that? What do you know that you're pretending that you know or denying that you know? And what question can you ask from now on? Yeah. So wonder what it would take to change this. So I think that's it for me from me for me for me today. And thank you for being here on TGIF Cafe on this beautiful, chill December evening in Lebanon. And I totally appreciate you being here. If you have anything you'd like to share, feel free to send me a private message, ask me a question. I'd be happy to answer you. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. We will see you again next Friday. And next Friday, I have a guest. Okay, so stay tuned for that. We have a mystery guest on BJF Cafe. We will have a guest, and we will be having a very good topic for you next Friday. Hope this has been a contribution for you today. And if this has been a contribution, feel free to share this page, share this video to people that might receive something from. All right. Have a great evening, everyone, and take care and enjoy your Friday. Bye.